Here's 4 things I think are a must for home or garage gyms, a little bit like this one behind me. Now, you don't necessarily have to have all of them, but if you're picking just a few, here's what I would go with and why. And they're also going to be great for a variety of different training and fitness goals. And all of these can work within different budgets. Now let's get straight into the first one of these 4 things. And the first one might seem a little bit boring, or it's one that goes under the radar for a lot of people, but I promise you it's definitely one of the most important. And that's good floor space and or a good kind of surface or matted area. Now, I know that might not be classed as equipment, but just hear me out. Definitely one of the best things I have in my personal training studio is the rubber matting. And I stand by this for a few reasons. Number one, it's like a designated zone that goes a long way to get motivated and sets a clear, purposeful area and space. And the flooring itself being matted means it's great for 1,000,001 different bodyweight exercises, which can be a foundation for any kind of fitness goal. And all of these bodyweight exercises can be adjusted to different abilities. And lastly, good matting will protect you, it will protect the floor underneath, and it will also protect any equipment you might have or you might end up dropping on it. Now, I see it often where people fit out small gym areas or even big gym areas with big equipment and machines that can really only do one thing. It's only got one function. Maybe it's chest press, maybe it's leg press, but these can take up so much room for the limited amount of function they have. They can only do one thing. And if you've got loads of space, these can be great. Big multi kind of storage gyms, these can be awesome. They need to fill the space with equipment. So don't underestimate the benefit of having a good amount of space and decent flooring so you can do any exercise off. Now for me, my next must have is dumbbells. And there's a good reason why you see literally every single gym carry dumbbells. One of the reasons that they're so good is that you can work every single different muscle group in the body in a variety of different ways in as much or as little space as you have available. Really, you have 2 options when it comes to dumbbells, and that's either adjustable ones or pre-made ones, as it were. Now, adjustable ones being the bars that you can interchange the weight on there, the little weight plates, and you can have increments in weight plates to adjust the weight on the same bars. Now, this obviously saves room, it's often cheaper, but it also comes at a little bit of a cost when it comes to time and hassle having to change them for different exercises. And if you're doing things like supersets or circuits or trisets, where you're having to change the weight in between each one, it kind of messes up the rest period a little bit. So that's one of the kind of downsides with them, but they definitely save room and they're definitely cost effective. But that's not the only consideration either. There's a couple other things to think about, but first, the other key option is the pre-made dumbbells. These take up more room, aren't adjustable, but are really straightforward to use and are definitely time saving. And they're probably a little bit more expensive as well. Now, rubber coated dumbbells are safer for you and the floor. And if you get the hex style ones, which don't roll around, that's again safer, but also it's great for exercises like renegade rows, where you can put them down, have a firm base, and they won't roll around. On the other hand, fully metal ones typically take up slightly less room. And again, they're on the cheaper side. So if you're on a tighter budget, get the cheapest ones available to you. That's probably a set of adjustable ones, and you'll be able to do so much with them. You can do things like shoulder presses, bicep curls, tricep extensions, bench press, floor press if you don't have a bench, lunges, squats. You can do similar things to what you would do with a kettlebell. You can swing them around. There's just so much you can do, and you get so many gains from them in many different ways. Now, let's move on to the next one. And one of the best ways to work the entire body and build some real muscle and real solid strength and tone is to do what's called compound lifts. And these are exercises and lifts where you're using a whole host of muscle groups at once. And to a certain extent, you can do this with dumbbells, but there's nothing quite as effective for this as a barbell and some weight plates. You can really do big movements here with the option of incremental weight increases in the form of plates, really pushing and progressing your strength and muscle gains. Now, you do need a little bit more room for a barbell and a set of plates, and they can be a little bit more expensive, but they're definitely towards the top of the gym hierarchy in terms of equipment and bang for buck. And there's a good reason for it. Just the things you can do with them, so many different things, and also super effective. Things like deadlifts, squats, shoulder press, lunges, cleans, snatches. The list just goes on. I know a bar and plates could be considered as two pieces of equipment, but you can often get sets, so I've put them in as one on this list. And you can also do things with them individually, so that's another bonus. Plates on their own are good for so many different things and can be used similar to dumbbells or kettlebells without the bar. You can do things like plate taps, ground to overheads, shoulder press. You can hold a plate and do squats. You can hold a plate and do shoulder press. You can hold a plate and do floor press. So there's lots you can do just with the plates alone, and same goes for the bar. Now, what type? I would always suggest going with either an Olympic men's or an Olympic female barbell, and that's because they're most common in gyms. So meaning if you're going in and out of gyms or you've done something in the past, likely you'll be more familiar with this and you can get more confident in using the same sort of equipment that is used commonly and elsewhere. And you've also got great options with different weight plates. You don't have to worry so much about different weight plates fitting the bar you've got, because it's that kind of universal men's Olympic or female bar. And here you have two key options, either iron or rubber bumper plates. Iron is cheaper and you can fit more plates on the bar, but bumper plates are better if you're going to be dropping the weights around, or you want them to be a little bit safer, or you're a bit more protective over the floor you're doing, or you need to be a bit quieter because you're, in a two-story flat or something. Last but definitely not least is the humble resistance band. And I'll touch on cardio after this because I know I haven't spoke about this, but first I had to chuck these in the list, coming in number 4 for so many different reasons. Again, it's another piece of equipment that has multiple functions, and it's space saving and it's cheap, so you can just get so much from it. And they can also be great for just warming up. They can be great for injury prevention. They can be great for rehab and a variety of strengthening exercises. So they're easy to perform for all different abilities, different goals, different circumstances. You can do things like band pull aparts, great for the upper back, which is often neglected and can help prevent that kind of hunching that we all do. You can do face pulls for similar reasons. You can do chest press, working all the front musculature. You can do banded shoulder press. You can do banded curls, banded deadlifts, loads of different leg exercises. Adductor and abductor leg exercises are great to do with a band. And again, just the list goes on, and they can help so much to build strength, to rehab and tone at just such a cheap, affordable and a great kind of space-saving piece of equipment. But what about cardio then? I know I haven't mentioned a treadmill, a bike or a rowing machine, despite them being full body workouts. Well, when it comes to cardio, we have the entire world outside to do that. And so for me, it really isn't on the must-haves for a home-based or a garage gym. If you have good enough space and you have good enough matting, you can do things like star jumps, burpees, mountain climbers, high knees, and a load of other things that are free, that give great cardio benefits, that are just as good as having a crazy expensive piece of equipment that takes up a lot of room. You can also run, cycle, swim, walk, and do other things that are great for cardio outside of the gym. And you can also use the dumbbells and the barbells with lighter weight for cardio and doing compound lifts, working big muscle groups. That also gives you cardiovascular benefit. And another option is you can do exercises that have both a resistant type element and a cardiovascular element. So things like dumbbell snatches, dumbbell thrusters, barbell thrusters, plate taps with a weight plate, walking lunges with dumbbells or a barbell, or just high rep squats or high rep exercises. However, one bonus piece of equipment that's super cheap, easy to start with, doesn't take up much room, and is great for cardio would be a skipping rope. It's super effective for the cardiovascular system, and it's going to put a good amount of kind of controlled impact through the skeletal and muscular system, which is awesome. But I wouldn't put that as kind of a must-have for me in terms of a gym. It's just a cheeky bonus, and it's relatively inexpensive. So there's really so much you can get from just 1 or 2 pieces of equipment from this list. And if you do have them all, there's pretty much no fitness or health related goal you can't achieve. Now, I'll put a link in the description to a few things that I think fit these categories well. If you have any questions or comments on them, let me know in the comments below. And if there's anything that's not on this list that you think might be a must-have for a gym, let me know in the comments below. I'd be super interested to hear that. And if you like this video in any way, then please do give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in any fitnessy type stuff. And until my next one, have a really good one, and I'll see you then.